This is one of the most ridiculous bikes I have ever built. Because I took a £1,000 entry-level bike and then upgraded it with £11,000 worth of parts to build a lightweight racing machine. Why am I doing this? Well, firstly, because I can, and secondly, because no one in their right mind is actually likely to spend this amount of money on an entry-level bike. So I thought I'd do the job for us. Now, I have begged, bought, borrowed, and even stolen all the parts of this bike so that hopefully come race day, I can beat Ollie, Connor, and Dan at the British Hill Climb Championships. But not Si, because he has gymnastics.
I mean, technically it's a swimming competition that day. Anyway.
For legal reasons, I should probably confirm I haven't actually stolen anything. I'm about to weigh this bike to find out if all of the hard work was actually worth it. But before that, well, firstly, we should find out how much it weighed before throwing a truckload of cash at it. Right then, in its stock, out-of-the-box condition, Canyon claimed this bad boy weighs 10.72 kilograms in a size medium. I've made a few changes to this bike, so what I want to do, see how much it actually weighs now. $10.87, brilliant, I've made it heavier. Now the bike weight is just a small piece of the puzzle. It's actually my overall body weight, which contributes the most to my system weight. But seeing as this bike race happens in 6 days, well, I've left it a little bit late to do anything about that. So let's get this bad boy apart and onto the fun bit. Taking everything to pieces was the easy part. It's putting it back together, which is the real fun bit. Now in front of me here are all of the components I think I need to build this bike back up in front of me. Some parts I've begged for, some parts I've borrowed from other bikes here at GCN Megabase, some parts I've bought using the GCNTech piggy bank, and other parts, like this Dura-Ace crank, well, I just have those lying around as spare. Now, I'm really hoping that I can get this build to come in at under 8 kilograms, but I'm not entirely sure that's going to be possible. Anyway, enough talking about it, let's get back to building. Okay then, job done. That was actually super easy with no stress whatsoever. Why does it never go in? Damn it. Well, that wasn't what I expected. Now, I couldn't actually wait to weigh the bike, and I've already done that a minute ago. So here's me weighing the bike 5 minutes ago. Oh, it's actually 7.5! Quick film! Oh, this is amazing! Now, by Ollie's super nerd calculations, the many thousands of pounds I spent upgrading this bike should equate to around a 7-second saving over the 800-metre hill climb race. Worth every penny if I manage to beat Ollie, Connor and Dan, but perhaps in the grand scheme of life, not the most effective way of spending your money. But I've also worked out that the amount of money that I would have spent upgrading this bike equates to around £1,500 per 1 second saved. Right, enough chat about it. Let me get a run through of the bike setup. Okay, let's start at the back of the bike. First thing that's most noticeable here, well, I've upgraded the wheels to Princeton's. These are the 45-50 Peaks DT Swiss hubs. I've also got Pirelli P0 Race RS tyres on here. Now these are actually the 30mm versions, and if I wanted to save even more weight on this bike, I could go down to something like a 26. But from my previous testing and experiments, I kind of feel like 30mm strikes that balance between weight, rolling resistance, and aerodynamics. Also inside here, we've got the Pirelli P0 Race RS Smart Tubes as well. I've upgraded the entire group set on this bike, Shimano Dura-Ace throughout. Got the rear derailleur where I've carefully routed the cable through one of the little breather holes in the chainstay and managed to get that running internally up to the seat post, which is housing the battery. This incredible chain, cassette and pulley wheel is absolutely off the charts if you ask me. Oil slick because it just looks cool, not because there's any other advantage to it. This cassette is super impressive. So it's from a brand called Recon, and I've spoken about their lightweight cassettes on the tech show in the past. This one is even more off the charts. It's machined from aluminium to make it super lightweight. It's a 12 to 28 tooth cassette and it weighs 99 grams, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I'm a little bit concerned about the gear ratios I've chosen, seeing as I am going uphill, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And then of course, I can't go without mentioning this absolutely mind-blowing oversized pulley wheel system from Ceramic Speed. We've got 3D printed titanium pulley wheels here. Oversized, we've got the coated ceramic bearings inside there. I know it is kind of mind-blowing and mad to put it onto this bike when you consider this part alone is worth 1.5 times the original bike's value. But I had this ready for a bike I'm getting in the future. And then also to finish this off, because I've got a brand new cassette on here, I've also got this brand new YBN chain, 12 speed, flat top and super lightweight. That looks absolutely boss. Also 140 rotor, there you go. Okay, moving forwards, of course I've got the Dura-Ace crank on here. This time I've actually gone for 175mm crank arms. And the reason for this is because out of my vast selection of Dura-Ace cranks, of course I've got multiple sizes to choose from, but I thought, I'm going to take a slightly different approach here and just go slightly longer crank arm, a little bit of extra leverage, and I've also got this super cool Wolftooth 1x-Aero chainring here. And I said I'd mention the gear ratios a little bit more. So matched up to that cassette is a 48 tooth 1x chainring. It fills me with fear a little bit that I'm over geared for this hill climb race, but I'm going to have to just go with it now because I've made my choices and that's what I've got to stick with. Interestingly, I've just got the original seat post that came with the bike. I've got my 3D printed SLR saddle up top. Two parts which I haven't actually changed specific to this hill climb. The saddle, there's lighter versions out there, but I couldn't get my hands on one in time. And then the seat post, if I'm honest, I totally forgot to try and find a lightweight seat post. So here we are with the stock one, but you know. Moving forwards, I've got a Pro carbon fiber Vibe handlebar. This is left over from some previous bike builds that I'd done in the past. And then this is a super lightweight aluminium stem, which if you recall a few weeks back on the tech show, I was speaking about as it's one of the lightest stems available. It's machined from aluminium and actually is a super reasonable price of £66. Yes, that's still quite a lot for a stem, but in the grand scheme of super lightweight parts, it's actually pretty good. Got no bar tape because, you know, hill climb racing, we want to save weight and comfort isn't that important. And then all the way, if we go to the front, well, I've got 160mm rotor and of course the Dura-Ace calipers to go with the rest of the Dura-Ace group set, which I actually stole off of Andrew Feather's old bike. Thanks, Andrew. A couple of other little details I haven't mentioned yet, actually. So I've already spoken about the chain, but this one is waxed with Silkra's super secret chain blend and a speed chip added in there for extra speed, obviously. The handlebars are 38 centimeters wide, the stem is 120 millimeters long, and of course I've taken the bottle cages and the bottle cage bolts off of this bike because, you know, hill climbs. One thing I haven't done for a long time in videos recently is do a Freehub sound check. So let's do it. Let's get this wheel up to speed using the 48 tooth chainring. Shift down. There it goes. Cool. Cool. Okay, so there you go. That is my somewhat ridiculous hill climb bike, built and explained for you guys to see. But it isn't wasted on me that it's actually a totally ridiculous concept, because one of the greatest things about hill climb bikes is that, typically speaking, people are trying to start with the lightest bike possible, and quite often the lightest parts can actually be rim brake stuff, which is also on the more affordable scale. Whereas I've basically done the total opposite. I've started with a really modern, entry-level, relatively heavy bike, and then thrown money at the problem and haven't actually got to a bike that's as light as what other people could achieve for less money. So all in all, I do think a fairly pointless exercise, but fun nonetheless, and I prove that you guys hopefully don't have to do it at home. But I do think there is still scope to reduce the weight of this bike with a few key important changes that I haven't actually got to, such as I could use the skinnier tyres. I've gone one by to save weight, but I could have gone without using the aero chainring. I could have used exotic disc brake rotors. I could have done lots of little tweaks and changes, like cutting the steerer tube down. I could have got lighter handlebars. I could have cut the bottoms off of the handlebars. I could have got a lighter saddle, lighter seat posts. So all in, I think I could get this bike easily under 7 kilos, but if I'm honest, I've run out of time, patience, and theoretical money to spend on other parts. Right, there you go. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do give this a thumbs up and share this ridiculous bike far and wide for all your friends to see. And if you want to see me riding this bike in action, well, very shortly we'll have a video over on GCN where Ollie, Connor, Dan and I will be taking the hill climb champs on. Right, I'm out of here. See you later.